Okay. Oh man, what a long day of just consistent like the way they drain the energy of a target video is crazy. Everything is just altered, and um, I rely on making these videos to vocalize. It is so tough to maintain sanity in the ups and downs and the way they try to disorient you, and it takes a lot to be strong and not getting lost in whatever disturbing manipulation. And the ups are manipulated, the downs are manipulated, everything is altered. And it's interesting because you can tell that certain things are done in certain ways, but you still get these ups and downs. And I'm understanding that's part of this program. They want to create an emotion roller coaster, and it's part of how they drain the target individual. But there's probably a purpose behind that. Um, it takes a lot, and to I've accepted the reality of what I mean. But what gets me the most is this purpose. Try to disorient you and push you into insanity, and it takes so much to just maintain. Let me just start with the beginning and the reality. I'm a target individual. I'm a target individual, meaning that I know that I am being utilized in this diabolical program that is utilizing human subjects in different ways. And there's a way greater purpose than what a target individual think this is. And the purpose gets to the point of developing technology, utilizing human beings all around the world. There's so many of us. And it's a global network because the truth is, it appears that they need to have a mix of all kind of individual, men, women, children, different races, different cultures, different ages, in order to continuously improve on this. And the more people are utilizing this certain way, it clearly shows that the better it gets. It clearly shows that there's an ability to improve this technology by utilizing more test subjects. And it's happening to so many people. And one sometimes can be confused in what's happening. It's easy to fall into this. Let me just. This falsified reality. This falsified reality that as a target visual we then are putting. You just gotta be strong. And you have to accept the reality of what you're in for truly what it is. And you also have to be strong to not fall for the psyop, the facade. And also, what is happening to you is meant to disorient you and make you forget who you are. It takes a lot. Because as a target individual, what you put in is not something that's just anything. In the sense of, it's not the technology that we deal with is technology that is surreal in regard to the manipulations. Now let's just start with the body. They are handicapping me. They are making me ill. They are making me cysts, and my organs are destroyed. I'm not even trying to go to the hospital, because what happens is this governmental entity is running this program, and this program that is inclusive of so many people, and a whole ecosystem is created. You go to the hospital, you'll know that the doctors are partaking. Your neighbors will participate. Your employers will partake. Wherever you go, it follows you globally, and I know that because I've left this country. Places where you don't think will happen. And I realized it will follow me everywhere the second I left and went to that country. And I'm coming back to New York and understanding that there's no even need to go anywhere. This is going to follow me everywhere. And so, even if you understand all that's happened to you, there's another layer that's who's participating and their psychological task in regard of like the tactics of psychologically disorient you. You know their task to confuse you, disorient you, even when it's as obvious as it gets. I end up just recording everything that as obvious as it is because they have no shame of how much they can gaslight you. It's surreal. Like, it's surreal that how they can reconstruct reality no matter how obvious it is. For example, I started making videos in the summer of 2020 after discovering that there's such a thing called target vigil. I started watching a lot of video about it. I understood what this was about because in 2019, August 19, 2019, something drastically happened to me. I started dealing with this technology they call synthetic telepathy, which now I know is called V2K. And what is that? Is I started being obviously manipulated in the most degrading ways. And it was degrading to the point where it almost pushed me to suicide. It was so disturbing. I even got as far as writing a suicide letter, even purchase what I needed to, and what saved my life, what made me not go to that route, is then in that summer of 2020, I found out about being a target vigil. Because what's happening to me is they will manipulate my brain in these degrading pedophilia-centric ways. Dreams were manipulated, reactions were manipulated, I was being stimulated in degrading pedophilia ways. That was so disgusting that I was like, I'd rather kill myself than turn into whatever they want me to be. Because it was just obvious that they were just conditioning my brain these ways. And I was like, I don't even want to deal with these disturbing manipulations. I don't want to even, because it seems like they're training my brain in these ways. It's not just manipulating me. They just really want my brain to be in this fashion now. They want to manipulate me, condition me in this disgusting ways. I was like, I'd rather die than turn into whatever they want me to be. That ended. Not because this manipulation ended. It ended because I started hearing the testimonials. I started signing petitions. I started seeing that they have these things that are systematic. They have these tormenting tactics that are used to break you down. This technology is technology they've been working on for decades. This obvious documentation of what I'm talking about. Clear validation that they were being programmed that specifically were about altering and controlling the mind. There were things like MK Ultra that I never heard before. There's other thing called Project Pandora, and other research and development of technology that consists of altering the mind. Now, initially, I know that the MK Ultra, I heard that MK Ultra is trying to, basically, it was in the 50s or 60s, I think, to try to turn somebody into a spy and be able to do something, then forget about what they did. And so a perfect spy. So if that person, a spy, is caught, they won't have any recollection of what they were supposed to, what they did. If they were supposed to kill somebody, they killed, and they don't think about it. That was the initial goal. But it became something more than that. It became, we can actually control people. It became a study about controlling the mind. It became about brainwashing people, controlling the mind. And then there's other studies that consist of using a technology, electromagnetic frequencies, to control the mind from a distance. Remotely do that. Stimulating the brain to have a reaction that's desired by the person that's doing the stimulation of the brain. And that's in the 60s and 50s. It goes as far as they were funding doctors, neuroscientists to implant chips in animals and human beings and stimulate them and see the reaction and map the brain to know how to control the brain. Understanding that if the brain is stimulated in this fashion, this is the reaction. If we stimulate this, this is the reaction. We want that person to get sexual arousals, we stimulate that part of the brain. Controlling, creating the reaction they desire. If we want you to have sexual stimulation, we can make you have sexual stimulation. Because we know what part of the brain needs to be stimulated for you to have the reaction that we desire for you to have. Controlling you. We want you to have the sexual stimulation toward whoever we want you to have, you will have it. Because we know that the brain, if manipulated in this way, will get stimulations. And with time, today, the current target individual dealing with this synthetic telepathy, we are being tormented with these manipulations. It's a technology that's utilized onto us as a weapon. Obviously, they can control people in a positive way. That's not the case. Because what's behind this is obviously defense entities, Department of Defense entities behind us, because they're the one who have invested so much throughout years and decades for that. So what they do is meant to be destructive because they're utilizing it as a weapon. It's clear. I'm not a genius, but it's clear that that's what they're doing. And also, obviously, I'm speaking because I've heard from others more involved in this, more intellectual than me. Somebody like a Robert Duncan, may he rest in peace. Well spoken about the purpose, and others understanding that this has been the goal for years for the Department of Defense to perfect this technology, because this is the absolute weapon system. It is the ultimate weapon system. Forget about nuclear bombs. It's way more effective than that. You control the person who's pushing the button for nuclear bombs or anything. You control the generals. You control it. That's the goal, is to be able to control as many human beings as possible in masses, at a population level perhaps. That's the goal of the ultimate weapon. It's clear. That's why they will invest. What else can be better than that as a weapon? Control human beings. And so for us, target individual, unfortunately, we are the real test subjects here. I'm not saying these perps, and what we call perps are just the civilians participating that are not somehow manipulated. I've seen the cases where, of course, it's obvious that there's some kind of control and manipulation, as they are willing volunteers in this case to participate, involving themselves. But when I see little kids, obviously don't have choices. The parents probably let them, allow that to happen. But these kids start saying things that's disturbing, and the parent is not there saying, "Hey, say this and that." No. You can see out of nowhere the kid saying something. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so disturbing. But it's not that kid saying that coming out of... So this manipulation is obviously at scale. We are just the targeted individuals. On us, it's not by choice. And we're utilized as the guinea pigs of this weaponization of it. Now, this external aspect of it all, this ecosystem, their job, even though they are just the perps, they're the nothings. Wherever you go, for example, I was in the office today. Oh my goodness, the mental battles and and it's everywhere you go. I'm in the train and I'm here in this apartment. This my neighbors. I'm at the office. This happened. I'm somewhere else. Where it follows you. And another target individual mentioned like gang stalking and all that is part of that. I used to be gangster minus manipulation of the mind. That's before August 19, 2019. And that will also, a lot of target individuals will say it is very, very tormenting too, in a different way. It's just the unknown, the confusion, the disorientation that push you into insanity. Today, gang stalking is less of an impacting factor because I'm dealing with something way worse. They don't need to gang stalk me, even if there's nobody around. The manipulations are enough. Now, what these people do, the gang stalking for me has changed into something else where now what these perps do is I'm being manipulated in these degrading ways. The gang stalkers, their job is to act and react to certain, oh, you disgusting, oh, you die, making me think in these disturbing ways that's degrading. And then this gang stalking, these perps around you are reacting in a way that's theatrical, as if they don't know I'm being manipulated, and they're just observing me through their phones and like, and it's like all theatrical. Like, let me look at my phone. The phone is this trash. And they do everything from manipulation of your current experiences, manipulating memories, or try to bring up something that makes you feel embarrassed or something like that. When in truth, is like, I don't even that wouldn't even work anymore because I know what you guys do. And so you start understanding there's a systematic tactic in this whole thing. I've accepted the reality of that. Accepting it and dealing with it is a different thing, because it's still disorienting. Now, like, a lot of my mental battles are just, especially when I'm in the office, it's just to see people trying to reconstruct reality. It's clear that I know that on August 19, 2019, this started happening to me. I have strong suspicion that the people who put me in this program were my first employer. And the reason why I'm so sure about this at this point is who they are, when it started, and understand the influences and the connections are super vast. To me, it's a blessing because it facilitated me to understand the reality of what's happening to me. Today, I'm currently employed after August 19, 2019, after making my first videos, after me being involved in a video called TI Day 2020 Awareness. And when they hired me, I knew they hired me for the purpose of destroying me, tormenting me, breaking me down. I knew what this is about. I knew. I remember understanding, and I expected that, to be honest. I didn't even know it was going to be that nasty, but even in my interview process was a whole thing. And I'm thinking about the disgusting things. But it's because they manipulate my brain these ways. And they know I'm being manipulated. And they're utilizing this manipulation to first of all, they try to convince me that I'm not being manipulated. These people who have done these tactics that are degrading. By the way, when I started finding out being a target individual, one thing I soon found out, shortly, it didn't take much. I think as soon as maybe the day after or something like that, I soon found out that they will have this tactic of pedophilia type of torture. Once I start signing petition about it, I was like, whoa, and I kept saying that coming up. I start seeing writings about how they use pedophilia as a way to, and then I heard testimonials that oh my gosh. A woman starts saying, oh, I deal with this pedophilia type of torture.